The air in the palace corridors had always been thick with unspoken words and the careful choreography of duty, but in recent years, a new subtle tension began to weave its way through the gilded halls. It was a story not of open confrontation, but of whispered asides, strategic glances, and the quiet struggle for influence as the baton of the monarchy prepared to pass from one generation to the next. This is the story of two very different women. Camilla, the queen consort, who had fought a decades-long battle for acceptance, and Catherine, the Princess of Wales, whose star was rising with an unstoppable, quiet brilliance. The first hints of discord were not found in shouting matches or leaked memos, but in the subtle body language at state occasions. And the world got its first clear glimpse during the state visit of the American president. As the royal family posed for the customary photographs at Windsor Castle, the cameras captured a fleeting moment. Queen Camilla, standing beside her husband, King Charles, made a small, almost imperceptible gesture with her arm towards Kate. To the untrained eye, it was a simple adjustment, a hostess subtly guiding her party. But to the legions of royal watchers and body language experts, it was a pointed reminder of hierarchy. Kate was gently but firmly repositioned, a move that some interpreted as a public assertion of Camilla's seniority over the younger, more popular princess. While Camilla's gesture was dissected in the press, the real story lay in what it represented. For years, Camilla had been the villain in the court of public opinion, but the woman blamed for the breakdown of Charles's marriage to the beloved Princess Diana. Her journey to this moment standing as queen consort had been a painstaking exercise in rehabilitation. She had played the long game, slowly and carefully building a new image for herself. But now, a new threat to her hard-won status was emerging, not from the ghost of Diana, but from the very living, breathing future of the monarchy. Kate. Unknown to the public, the friction had roots that went back over a decade. Long before Kate was the polished Princess of Wales, she was just a commoner dating the future king. According to royal authors and insiders, Camilla, an aristocrat to her core, had viewed the Middletons as outsiders. She was reportedly a bit of a snob who believed that Kate, I descended from coal miners and the daughter of a former flight attendant, was too common to truly belong in the royal family. In the early days of William and Kate's relationship, it was whispered that Camilla had encouraged King Charles to urge his son to make a decision about the relationship, hoping perhaps that William would break it off and find a bride from more traditional aristocratic stock. The brief split between William and Kate in 2007 was seen by some palace observers as a victory for this quiet campaign of doubt. As Kate officially joined the family after the fairy tale wedding in 2011, the dynamics shifted, but the undercurrents remained. Kate, with her natural grace and dedication to duty, quickly became a global icon. This popularity, however, created a new problem. As the years passed and she gave birth to heirs, and her influence grew. By the time Queen Elizabeth II passed away, Kate was not just a duchess, she was the Princess of Wales, a title heavy with the legacy of Diana. Her every public appearance was met with adoration. Palace insiders began to notice a shift in Camilla's demeanor. After years of finally being accepted by the public, she now had to share the limelight with a princess whose popularity threatened to eclipse everyone else in the family, including the king himself. The tension simmered beneath the surface of royal engagements, but it boiled over in the most unexpected way, through the ongoing saga of Prince Harry and Meghan. For years, the press had been filled with stories of a rift between Kate and Meghan, the so-called Fab Four, crumbling under the weight of personality clashes and protocol breaches. But as Prince Harry's memoir, Spare, would later reveal, the true architect of much of the discord may have been someone else entirely. Harry alleged that Camilla had a long game aimed at rehabilitating her own image, and that this game involved feeding stories to the press about other members of the royal family. By keeping the focus on the feuding young royals, Negative press about her and her past could be buried. Kate and Meghan, he implied, were convenient pawns, pitted against each other by a stepmother desperate to secure her own legacy. They never had a chance, as one insider later put it, because their conflicts served a larger purpose in Camilla's quest for acceptance. The most shocking allegation of Camilla's behind-the-scenes maneuvering, however, was far more personal, and if true, far more sinister. In the early years of Kate and William's marriage, as they settled into their apartments in Kensington Palace, a disturbing discovery was made. According to reports, listening devices were found hidden within their private residence. The couple was horrified. Their home, a place that should have been their sanctuary, had been breached. While an official investigation was never made public, suspicion within the palace circles immediately fell on Camilla. The motive, it was theorized, was desperation. With Kate pregnant with the future heir, the Queen was reportedly so delighted that she considered bypassing Charles to ensure a direct line of succession to William, thus securing the monarchy for generations. Camilla, who had waited a lifetime to be queen, saw her dreams slipping away. The bugs, allegedly planted in the hope of overhearing something, anything, that could be used to discredit the young couple in the eyes of the Queen, represented the ultimate betrayal of family trust. Despite the frosty undercurrents, Kate, by her very nature, was a peacemaker. Where others saw enemies, she saw a family that was deeply fractured. Rather than retreat from her stepmother-in-law, she reportedly made a conscious effort to build bridges. In a move that surprised many, Kate began arranging secret private outings with Camilla. Bonding over a shared love of art and the theater, the two women would attend exhibitions and shows without the men. These quiet excursions, away from the cameras and the pressures of royal duty, helped to thaw the ice. For Camilla, it was a chance to connect with the mother of the future king. For Kate, it was a strategic and heartfelt effort to ease the tension that strained family gatherings and, by extension, helped improve the notoriously difficult relationship between her husband, William, and his father, Charles. But peace is a fragile thing in a palace. In 2024, the royal family was rocked by a double health crisis. Both King Charles and the Princess of Wales were diagnosed with cancer. As they stepped back from public life, Camilla once again stepped into the breach, taking on additional duties for her husband and her stepdaughter-in-law. It was her moment to be the steadfast, reliable figurehead. But when Kate re-emerged after her treatment, she did so with a renewed sense of purpose and a visibility that was more powerful than ever. Her return was polished, professional, and very queenly, according to sources. It was immediately clear that she was positioning herself for her future role, and this new, confident Kate was unsettling for Camilla. The balance of power was shifting, and neither woman was prepared to step back quietly. The final act of this ongoing drama played out over the question of reconciliation. As Kate battled her own health issues, she found a new perspective on life, one that made her value family above all else. She reportedly began to quietly advocate for an end to the bitter feud with Harry and Meghan. She exchanged gifts with Meghan for their children and felt a genuine desire for the brothers to mend their rift. This stance put her on a direct collision course with Camilla. Harry had been scathing about Camilla in his book and interviews, and calling her dangerous and a wicked stepmother. Camilla was furious that Kate would even consider staying in contact with him, let alone try to broker a peace. She felt that any attempt at reconciliation was a personal insult to her and ridiculous, given everything Harry had said. When Kate continued her quiet efforts, going over Camilla's head to speak directly to the king, the queen consort was said to be deeply aggrieved. In the private spaces of the palace, the clash between the two women became the fiercest scene in years, a silent war over the very soul of the family's future. One fighting for the forgiveness that would bring her sons together, the other fighting to protect a reputation she had spent a lifetime trying to build